Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today is Tuesday, July 26, 2022. I am Salad Blue Sister, and this is My Turn to Talk. Hello, Martin. Welcome. Hey, Brina. Welcome. Martin's number one. Welcome. Welcome, CSV. Number two, and Brina, number three. Hey, Frankie, how are you? Number four. Hey. And to listeners over on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, welcome. Okay, so this is a good place to stop the music. Okay, guys, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so today on this Tuesday, I would like to talk about respect for difficult work well done. What is respect for work well done? Is it a thank you? Is it a raise? A promotion? What shows respect for the work you've done? And I bring this up mainly because, the last 2 years we've been dealing with COVID. And, I think that COVID, and I'm not going to get off into COVID. Welcome, Juju. Welcome back. I'm not going to get into this whole thing, with COVID in terms of COVID itself, but just in terms of, I think that COVID kind of opened the doors to people who were working, who probably were not, getting the thanks that they should. And when I say the thanks that I should, I'm saying something as simple as a thank you. Thank you very much. If you were that grocery store clerk at the market who asked you if you needed some help out, and the bag boy, helped you to your car, whatever. Was it like, oh, okay, bye? Or was it just you assumed that person was there to help you? And even if they are there to help you, can you say thank you? A thank you goes a long way. So when you say respect for work well done, is it just a thank you? Is it a raise? For some people, they could have been working really hard because they wanted to be promoted to manager, VP, whatever. So, see, Martin says all good work should be rewarded no matter the field. So, Martin, so should it depend upon the type of job that you're doing in terms of the reward? So if I'm working in a restaurant and I'm the cook, or I'm washing dishes, should my reward be any less than the waiter who's out front, or maybe the manager? I mean, is there a difference there? When you talk about raises, what determines a raise? I mean, when you look at some of these bankers, these CEOs who are in charge of, who head up some of these banks, why are they getting bonuses? $10 million when the average bank clerk who's standing on their feet, 8 hours a day, helping customers, they may just get a 2% raise if they get that. But here's the CEO who's walking away with a, couple million because it's a corrupt business. Yes, it is. It is. So, so what determines respect that you get for work well done? I mean, what determines that? I mean, is it the fact that, what's the difference between someone who worked overtime? I mean, I worked at a place that, in my opinion, some managers judge you based on the fact if you worked overtime as opposed to if you clocked out at a 5. So does that mean that even though I got all my work done within that time frame and I did a good job, should not I not, get a raise comparable to my work as opposed to how long I stay? You know, what determines? And Martin says efficiency and effort. Yes, yes. So once again, hey Kimberly Michael, welcome. So again, should the dishwasher in a restaurant make less than the waiter who's in the front? Or I'm sorry, I may be dating myself by saying waiter, I guess, server that is in the front. Does the server in the front do more work than the dishwasher that's in the back? So, you know, who determines what? And in terms of the promotion, once again, why do we? And I'm gonna go here. I am going into my society show that we did last week. Why do we, as a society, or even the workers who work at that bank, why do they allow the CEOs to walk away with these, $1 billion? I'm exaggerating, these $1 million bonuses. I mean, what would have to happen for that to stop? I mean, should there be a respect strike? Everybody who wants to respect everyone goes on strike, or they go on a boycott. And Brina says, as far as restaurants go, I think the front of the house works as hard as the back of the house. Okay, so Brina, so let me ask you, so should they both get paid the same amount? And this is something that I don't know. So guys, if you can enlighten me, when you leave a tip for the server, is it the are they supposed to, like, is this supposed to be automatic where they're supposed to split it with everyone, or is it just the server who walks away with the tip? Martin says it hasn't stopped, so I guess people must be fine with it. Yeah, or they're fine with it, or they just accept it, or they just say whatever. Okay, I can't stand that they have to split those tips. Okay, but Brina, can I ask why? I worked in a bank for over 20 years, and I'm over. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it varies depending upon the restaurants. You know, I don't. I don't mind them having to split tips, and the only reason why I say that is, um, again, I go to, is the cook, is the person who's washing dishes, is the person who's hustling, those tables after you finish eating, and they're, cleaning it up and what have you, are they hustling just as much as the server? So are they just relying on their wage and no tip? Or, because I think that a server is just as important, and wages and stuff is just as important as the people who are in the back of the house, and vice versa. So, and then when you go into retail, you know um how do they judge? Is there I mean, I don't think a lot of stores I worked in retail, and the respect level there just from the customers, a lot of times there isn't any. But again, what determines if you get a raise or a promotion? So, and does it have to be respect for difficult work? Because in my title, I said difficult work well done. What if it's something really simple, a simple task that you had to do and you did it? If you did it, shouldn't everyone get respect? So Brina says to Martin, yeah, but I didn't mind. I made more than the servers, and I didn't do it often. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so I'm sorry, Brina, I missed that part. Martin says, I've seen bartenders hold the restaurants when they weren't eating customers. Okay. And Brina says, I was a dishwasher. They would occasionally have me bus tables. Nobody split a tip with me. So Brina, did you want them to split the tip, or you didn't care, or did you get PO'd because they didn't? Welcome, Chill. Because they didn't, or let's see. Okay, I'm sorry. And then you say, yeah, I didn't mind. Okay. And Martin says probably depends on who and how managers actually appreciate their employees. And Brina says, no, it was fine. I didn't want to split it. Okay. All right. All right. So hold on here and let me pop over here. Okay. All right. So, guys, is there any reason or any time when someone does not deserve, and I'm not saying someone who's just, they're at their job and they're just totally just an a-hole or anything like that, but is there a time when someone doesn't deserve a raise or a promotion? I mean, is there a time when, even though someone comes to work every day and they do their job, is there a time when someone doesn't deserve a raise or a promotion, or even a or even a uh thank you? So let's see. I was underpaid for many years at multi jobs. Was that because of the Martin? Was that because of the what do I want to say? Was that because of the industry that you were in? So it usually paid low, or was it that you were just underpaid? Because I think that no matter what industry you're in, it's always that possibility that you will be underpaid. Um, I think now you have a lot of people, who may have quote unquote white collar jobs who are underpaid. But I think now what it is, Jill said you about to make me cuss. Come on up, Jill. Come on up. Because a lot of these companies, it just seems like that all the CEOs, all the people who are sitting in those offices on the top floor, they're the ones that are making uh the money. It was the question. So I'm not asking you what kind. Let's see. Martin says, yes, they started off low wages. They took time to work your way up. Okay, so that's another question. how long should it, when you say work your way up, how long should it take for you to work your way up? And exactly what does that mean? I mean, yeah, I understand that, you may start off, you're not going to become a fireman and you're immediately the captain or the chief. But at the same time, shouldn't you get a raise at least once a year? Shouldn't you at least get something, some type of raise saying that your for your employer to say thank you? Shouldn't you get something? And then if you work in that job, for 50 years and you've been a consistent worker who came to work every single day and you worked hard, do you want something more than just that gold watch? Hey, chill. You there?
Check one.
I can't hear you. You are very, very faint.
Check one, two, three, check.
You're very, very faint. I hear some one twos, but you are very, very faint. Okay, while you're getting your mic together, I'm going to just read some more of the comments. Martin says, my first job gave 3% raise a year. And Brina says, no real time frame, but if you can show you're able to handle the function, you deserve a raise promotion. But Brina, okay, but again, okay, you say no real time frame, but again, if you're working for that year and you figure that for some places you're on probation, maybe 30 days or 60 days or something, if you have been on, um, again, if you've been coming to work and you've been doing the job and you are a good worker, shouldn't you get a raise every year?
Check one, two. Check.
Chill, you are still really faint. You might want to go out. Okay, let's say go out and come back in. Let's see. Hold on here. And there we go.
Five. Check one, two.
Faint will. But yep, Podbean is still having mic issues. They did some upgrade or something a couple of months ago. It seems like people various is a hit or miss if your mic is coming in. Okay. Martin says, I know people who worked for years and never deserved a raise because they weren't efficient at all. Okay, so Martin, then why keep those people? Because why would I want to keep you on the payroll if you're not an efficient person? If you're not, if you just if you just you know, for lack of a better term, you suck. I mean, why would I keep you? Welcome, shy lady. Why would I keep you? Yeah, who you know, not what you know, but okay, Brina. So let me ask this: if you had a company and your cousin or somebody in your family or one of your good friends, whatever, asked you for a job and you gave it to them, either willingly or reluctantly, you gave it to them, and they came to work, but they weren't good at their job. They either just weren't good at it or they took advantage because they knew you or for whatever reason they should not be in that job. Would you let them go because even though you knew them and they were one of your friends or they were a family member? Welcome, Das. Okay, let's see. Will is okay, so he is gone. Okay. So do we do we have a an obligation? That's the word I was looking for. Do we have an obligation to keep someone on the payroll, even though they're not doing a good job? but they're related to us or they're a friend. Okay, and Brina says, yes, I wouldn't have an issue getting rid of a family member or friend if their work wasn't cutting it. Okay, that is good to know. But I think a lot of people would probably keep the person. I could be wrong, but me personally, I would have a hard time keeping someone like that. Let's see here. I'm sorry, guys. My mouse is acting up today and doesn't want to scroll here. So, okay. Martin says, Brina, I have that issue now. So, Martin, are you tiptoeing around that issue, or is it something that's been going on for a while, or is it just something that happened and you tend to deal with it? Or, hey, Grid, welcome. Let's see. I've got so many friends hired who failed miserably and made me look bad. So, are you changing your policy then, not to hire people that you know? And Brina says, yes, I wouldn't have an issue getting okay, I'm sorry. I read that. I'm sorry, my mouse again. Exactly. They made you look bad. I wouldn't want that. And it's interesting. It's almost as if, for some, not everyone, but for some family and friends, it's almost as if they do start working for you, it's almost as if, oh, okay, so I came in late, okay, and or I'm leaving early because I have to do this. What? I didn't tell you? Okay, well I'm telling you now. Or you look around and say, well, what happened to Martin? Where is he? Oh, he left an hour ago. It's like, are employees required to respect the employer just as much as employees want respect from the employer? Is it a two-way street, or should employers respect the employee more? Martin says, how do you, because Brina told me that you left an hour ago. Okay, nepotism at its finest. Yep. Okay, Chill is back.
Nah,
Now, perfect. Hey, Chill.
I think he went back. Oh, it didn't
You,
go back out.
no,
Okay.
you are good.
Hey,
You
what's
are
happening,
good. What's up?
ladies? Solid. What's happening? Solid.
Everything's good. Everything's
See y'all.
good. Hey, Allie, welcome. So,
I see you, Ellie. Looking good, girl.
Jill, what did you have to say?
Like the way you smile, Solid.
Oh, Jill, we always have to go through our ritual before you get to the point.
uh, I like to take my time. You know what I mean, ladies.
Oh
I
boy.
know. I know. Listen here. If you want to get fired, that's your. What up, Martin? That's your raise. I mean, not firing your ass. You got a job and you're making a decent wage. You want me to give you a raise every year for doing what you're supposed to do?
Yeah. First of all, I need to talk to Martin. From Martin, don't make his head any bigger than what it is. Mac Daddy.
Oh, there
No.
goes Shy Lady. I knew Shy Lady was here. Hey, Shy Lady.
Oh boy. So I mean, come on, chill. Come on. So you're gonna sit up here and tell me that the cost of living is going up. So would you not want to have a raise every year? So you're saying that it's okay that if your boss does not give you a raise every year?
Absolutely. Ain't that right, Kim? That's all right, Kim. It's all right. And you here. I blessed you with a job. You ain't got to get a raise unless you're exceptional. That's what raises are for. Raises ain't for just because you're here. It's for your exceptionalism, right? So you got to give them.
I disagree with that. I
No,
disagree with
you're getting
that.
paid for what you're getting paid. Did I in a contract say you get a raise every year? Or when you get in the job description, there are yearly raises. You could be a crappy worker. You could be a pretty average worker, and you want a raise.
I didn't say if you were a crappy worker. Now, if you're a crappy worker, well then,
Oh, but so then that throws the argument. If you talking tenure. If your argument is tenure, it's tenure. It doesn't matter if you're a crappy worker or not.
well, no, I know. I'm saying if you are a good worker, shouldn't you get a raise every year? If you're a crappy worker, then you should be fired. I don't even know why you're on the payroll. So, the raise
Well,
isn't
we may
even
need you.
an issue.
All right.
So
So what does a what well if you're a good worker, what does it mean to be a good worker? Come to work on time, not
come to
take
work
days off,
on
or do
time,
so.
and you have your task or whatever you're supposed to do, and you do it, whatever. I mean, okay, so you're going to sit here and tell me that if the cost of living goes up, okay, which it usually does every year, sometimes every month, so you're trying to pay rent, feed your family, and if you started off on depending upon the job, just for conversation, I'm going to say you started on $10 an hour. So you're going to
Mhm.
tell me that 5 years from now you still want to make $10 an hour? You don't think that you should have increased some?
Well, like I said, if it's a good worker, you would typically want to take care of your worker. So I can see that. But if I didn't, I couldn't be mad at them because technically it's a business. What capitalism yields is smart business is not moral, right? In most cases,
Okay.
right? So therefore, it wouldn't be smart in a climate where what you're talking about. You're talking about inflation or whatever. Like, I want to give raises, and I'm making less as a business. If inflation is hitting everybody, so things cost more. So I got to pay out more as well. You gotta pay out. So how am I gonna give you a raise, and it costs more for everything? So technically, business wise, that doesn't make any sense. And so that's why you see the Walmart worker, like, these people don't get paid that much because they're um I'm trying to save face as a business, and I'm not looking at you as a person. I'm looking at you as a percentage of and how much I can make off of you, opposed to how much I can make you happy in your output. Not to say
Okay.
you're not right, right? I'm not saying you're not. That's not a way to go about things, but that's not necessarily the best business.
Okay, so if you're someone like Jeff Bezos, who owns Amazon and made a crap load of money during COVID,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
you have people who work for him who were saying that, the working conditions are not that great, the pay isn't that great, we don't get raises, but yet they come to work, every day or every night, whatever their shift is, and they're, lifting up heavy boxes, and they're doing, this, whatever. You're going to tell me that, they don't deserve a raise? My mouse is really
No,
acting up.
they deserve what I paid with the contract is agreed upon. And so now I could give you a raise, sure, every once in a while, but I don't. It's not about deserving or it's not a demand that I give you a raise. Like it's we deserve a lot. Shit, you probably deserve the job in itself, maybe triple the pay in some cases of what you do, right? So you coming into that job getting lowballed 8 times out of 10 in most jobs, especially like those lower level jobs, like fucking Wendy's. Have you ever worked at like McDonald's and was a grill person? What? Like at the Waffle House, the grill person. The line cook, they fuck the teacher, the teacher. We talking about what we should be getting or what we gonna get, right? And so that's what I'm saying. So like, it's just it ain't up to that business to make sure that you get your value out of life. You have autonomy. You have your own life. You can say, "Fuck this job. I'm going to get paid." Or like in today's society, you gotta have two or three hustles, right? And so we can't put the onus on someone else to fulfill your dreams or your motives.
Anyway, um, my thing is, if if every employer thought the way Chill did, then there would be a whole lot of people jumping and leaving jobs. Because think about it, if you owned a company, say you started this company in the 60s, you know good and well you have to raise the cost of living. If you started your company with an employee back in 1969, you can't keep that person with the same salary in the millennium. It's not feasible because you have to give somebody an opportunity to offset the cost of living. Nothing is the same anymore. And I agree with Solid. You have to take care of your employees, and you have to do that. I mean, back in the day, it wasn't unusual for like the General Motors and all the car companies, Chrysler. It wasn't unusual for those companies to give their employees gold watches after 30, 40 years. It wasn't unusual. My father worked for one of the big companies, and one of the big car companies, and they took care of our family. I mean, we it was four kids, my mother, my father, and they took care of us. And you cannot keep a person at the same wage. You have to allow for cost of living. Everything's going up. Everything, cars, rent, food, transportation. So it's always the consumer that suffers the most. But I understand, a little bit what Chill is saying about, companies have to make money. They do, and they are making money, but you have to give a person a cost of living. If they're doing a great job, they should be entitled to a cost of living raise, whatever that is, 2%, 3%. I mean, back in the day, it was 10% or more, but you should be able to give a person a cost of living raise, especially when things are going up around them. It's just, you have to, or they wouldn't survive.
And Shy Lady, we worked at the same place, and that 10% or more. Yes, yes, so um Grit says, if I'm making a company millions, I would expect a decent raise or promotion, even if it's not in my contract. DMAX says, mom and pop operations have the flexibility to provide better raises. Grit says, if there's no acknowledgement of good work, then people won't push to do better for that business. Absolutely. Brina says, I believe the last time the cost of living and wages made sense was in the 70s. Chill says 30 or 40 years. And he says, to get a gold watch, that's what it was. You worked for 50 years, and it's like, oh, Chill, you're retiring. Well, here's the gold watch with the little, thing written in, to whatever from General Motors or whatever. And Grit says, I work for a company that gave their employees a cash bonus every 5 years, for every 5 years service, and for every 5 and 10 year service. Okay. So Martin says the establishment did that on purpose. Okay, Pook, welcome, 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 and welcome back. Welcome back.
Hey, how are you?
Good,
I've
good,
been
good.
really, really busy lately.
I kind of figured.
I I'm glad I chimed in on this because I'm going to try to figure out how to do a show going forward, and we're going to talk a lot about this. And some of you may or may not know, I was in the hospitality industry when COVID came along, and apparently in the news, it's one of the hardest hit industries. But one thing that I want to say is the mentality is a double-edged sword. So when we talk about mom and pop businesses and we talk about what people should be getting and those kind of things based on overall performance, what a lot of people don't see is what these business owners actually go without to provide the payroll at the end of the week. And our costs are going up as business owners, whether it be insurance, regulation, tax, implied new taxes, and all this other stuff. And that's the other side that a lot of people aren't seeing because they are just an employee. So I think it's important to draw that parallel to make sure that we all understand that just because, a mom and pop business is in business for themselves and you think they're making all this money, that's not always the case because their costs are skyrocketing and they're doing everything they possibly can to keep people employed and to keep health insurance for them, and they're absorbing a lot of this cost. So when we look at, what we're entitled to as far as a pay increase and those kind of things, you're not actually realizing what they're going without or what they're basically cutting in their own lives, and just to keep the doors open. I think that's important.
Okay, and you do have a point, because I know for my company, even though I do everything online, just for two of the ingredients that I have for a 16-ounce bottle of the ingredients that I need, one product went from $29 for 16 ounces to 35, and then another one went from, I think it was something like $32 for a 16 ounce to like 45. So
Right.
it's like I bumped my prices up by like $2, but it's expensive. So I totally get that. But at the same time, if you're someone making millions of dollars, if you're the Amazons, or the Walmarts or whatever, or companies that have made all of this money, I think that then yes, you should give your employee a raise. I don't think
I
that
don't.
if I come to work and I work from 9 to 5 and I'm carrying these boxes and stuff, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, I shouldn't have to carry more and go way above and beyond and break my back just so I can get that dollar.
Well, I don't disagree with that, but remember that we're also, by working for those companies that are, larger companies. We'll talk about Walmart or Kroger or Amazon or any of those bigger companies. You're at their mercy because you're putting all of your eggs in one basket and hoping for that golden brick road, instead of redefining or recalibrating yourself and trying to figure it out yourself and do it for you. You end up doing it to somebody else, ultimately becoming a slave to the paycheck. And that puts you in a category where you end up living paycheck to paycheck, because as inflation increases, your pay is not. And then you get upset because you're not getting. And here's something that happened in the hospitality industry, and I don't know if a lot of people know this. And a lot of you travel, a lot of you may go to hotels, and you expect a certain service level depending on where you stay, or at least somebody that's courteous. And what happened when COVID came along was these hotel companies and management companies and brands actually had the opportunity to come back and slash salaries upwards 35 to 50%, and tell these general managers and area managers that, this is we're suffering right now, and this is what we're having to do to keep you employed. And some people said, you know what, I'm okay with that because I believe in this company and I believe that, you're going to do right by me. Well, as the occupancy started coming back in the end of 2021 and the very beginning of 2022 to pre-pandemic levels, these companies decided, you know what, we're not going to increase your salary back to where it was because we've doubled your job responsibilities, you've maintained, and if you don't like it, go find another job. And they believe that they can hire people at a cheaper rate to do the same job. Unfortunately, now it's backfiring on them because of the experience level, and those people that chose to leave and do something on their own and go find another job, that's what they did.
And
it's a, go ahead.
No, go.
It's a trickle down effect because these hotel owners and everybody else are putting profits ahead of people. But now they're crying the blues because they don't have staffing, they don't have this, they don't have that. But essentially, and I can name a handful of people right now or companies that were given millions and millions of dollars in the payroll protection plan, and those funds were waived. They were not loans, they were just grants. And they turned around and they said, you know what, slash everybody's hours to 24 hours. If they don't like it, tell them to get another job.
And
that was their mentality.
And that's what a lot of people did.
And now,
yeah,
and a lot of people did. I have 4 or 5 people on my team that came from the hotel industry, and they were highly regarded as some of the best in the business, and they love what they do. And they work 3 and 4 days a week. They don't care, and that freedom that you define and that goal that you have for yourself is never going to be working for the same company hoping that you get an extra percent or 0.5% raise next year. That's just the reality of it. And when we start accepting that, we're all going to be better off. That's my opinion.
No, I think you've brought up a lot of good points. I just want to catch up on the chat a little bit. Chill says I'd rather have daily incentives. And then Grit is saying to you, okay, I'm sorry. DMAC says I would say the incentive should be in the form of profit sharing rather than raises. Agree and disagree a little bit on that. Okay, Charlie, Sally, I definitely agree if you're a large company. And then Grit says to you, Poop, but if that business is making huge profits, they can afford to pay more. And then Martin says that's horrible management. And then Brina says there's been so much fraud with that. And Brina, I'm assuming you're referring to the payroll protection. Well, whenever you give people a lump sum of money, they're supposed to give it out to somebody else. It's not always going to get to where it is supposed to be. So, Chill, do you want to? No, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Poop.
I have one more comment. One of the things that payroll protection money did was enable a lot of these companies to reorganize and grow and expand their base or their foundation on building more and more, specifically in the hotel industry and restaurants. These guys were able to collect these millions of dollars to start development for new properties, knowing that all this was going to come back. And when it did come back, they were in a really good position to capitalize on everybody else's tax dollar. And at the end of the day, this is a tax to the American people.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't some gift to American businesses. And we all have to be, a little irritated with that, not only with the fraud, but just there's a public website. I think it's called ProPublica. You can actually go to that website and you can get all the information on every company that you want to find, and you can see the exact dollar amount that they were given and at whatever was forgiven.
Yeah.
Millions and millions, hundreds of millions in some cases.
Yeah.
It's absolutely disgusting. Well, but anyway, I say do it for yourself.
Brian says payroll protection was a joke. And I said there's been so much fraud. And then Grit says I work for a company in South Africa that gave us targets, and when we hit those targets, we earned commission on top of our salary. And he says, and that pushed us to work harder. Okay, so Chill, you want to say anything to what Poop said? You want to push back or add to it, or?
He said the same thing I said. I get him. I get it. But you was like,
wait. He said the same thing that you said. No, you were saying, well, didn't you come?
Everything he said was what I said.
Come to work. Well, you came to work for that, so that's
in so many words. What he said.
Okay, see, now we got to decipher through.
It can't be verbatim. It's probably more eloquent. It sounds way better. But I just got to put it the way I put it. I can only say that if I gotta wait 30, 40 years to get a damn Go Watch, I don't. That's the same. That's worse than what Amazon doing to people.
But you also but for Amazon, you also said, but you were supposed to come to work, and if you want a raise and you need to work a lot
You're
harder.
separating the two. I'm not talking about what we should do. I'm talking about the difference between the mom and pop. You still ain't getting it. I mean, I put it out there so you can think about it. There's a difference.
I was referring to Amazon. I'm not referring to mom and pop. But I do understand that mom and pop stores, they do have costs to meet, whatever. But at the same time, shouldn't there then, let me ask this then, at the same time then, if the mom and pop stores are having a problem meeting payroll, or everything is going up, they have to pay more for this and this and this, do you then say to the person, to Joe or whomever, say, you know what, we're going through a hard time right now. If you stick with me, when things get better, I will give you this. And then when things get better, you actually do it, as opposed to what Pook said, saying, they decided not to do it. They pretty much screwed everybody and said, well, you've been doing double. You either deal with it or quit.
Okay,
So do you think
I
that
get that.
Mom Pa should say that?
Okay, so you're taking the words out of my mouth. Actually, I was going to mention that. So when it comes to a situation like that, should I? Now I've been taking care of you. Now when the business is uh going through a rough time, are you going to take a pay cut? Are you going to go back to making from $30 to $20 an hour? Or are you going? And if for however long it takes, are you gonna stay there when you ain't making money and your checks go from $30 to $20, and you gonna weather the storm for them when you
Okay,
gotta
okay,
feed your
but
family
okay,
and you got bills to pay because you went from the the projects to the high rise in the sky.
but just like Pook said, if for some people who were in the hospitality, they believed that this company was going to do right by them, so they chose to stay because they thought that this is a good company that I'm working for. They say this, and they say that they are going to do it, so they choose to stay. So they choose to suffer along, whatever they have to give up, whatever, and they do it. Now, I
No,
would,
no, no, no. We're not
but
talking
but
about they.
but I would,
Would you do that?
I'm about to tell you, I would do that if I knew that you were going to honor your word. If you were going to honor your word, and actually, Chill, I have actually done that. I have actually been with someone who I worked for, and I took a serious ass pay cut, serious ass. But they did right by me, and it lasted for about a year and a half. It hurt, and I gave up a lot, but at the end, not only did they do right by me, they gave me an extra bonus and did something for me that was just I mean, it was just something
Which
wow.
is awesome, right?
Right. So
But
so
on the
so
scale
okay.
of
Right.
got you,
Right. So I'm
but just
saying
to finish my point, I'm going. But on that scale, you think everybody will do that as a person?
no.
Does everybody have
Okay,
the? It ain't
no.
even, it ain't even about
No, but
the
at the okay, but at the same time, when you said it's not about they, you're asking me about me, and I told you what I would
No, no, no.
do.
I asked you now, right? So now I'm
Right. So
segueing
so
to the
so
fact that now you think everybody will do that, or
no,
they have the convenience or the ability to do that, to take the
no.
pay cut.
Okay, no, but again, I'm saying if a person feels that the company that they're working with is going to do right by them, and they've been working for this company, and there's no reason why they should believe what they say, and if they choose to do that, then yeah, if they cannot because they just cannot afford it, then I understand them saying no, I'm sorry that I can't. But you would hope that if you stay with that person, then they would not screw you over, and that they would do what they say that they were going to do. And if they don't, that just sucks. That's just downright wrong.
But the thing is, it's not necessarily about screwing each other up. Is what I'm getting to. Because if I have to, I'm making this is business. This is not a personal relationship. We might be friends and all that, but at the end
I'm
of the
not
day,
talking about
it,
friends. I'm saying that
uh,
if
no,
you
I got now. That's just a moot point. I'm saying that at the end of the day, it's business, and so my point is that that's the mom and pop, right? And so Amazon is Amazon because of what? And then the mom and pop is in that situation, in that position because of what? You won't see Amazon in those situations because they ain't got to worry about that because they don't even risk that because they are business savvy, which leads to maybe a little bit immoral or amoral at the very least, right? And so that's the reason why I am Amazon, and that mom and pop is mom and pop. Amazon was mom and pop at one point.
yes, yes, yes.
So I have to grow, right? And so I don't grow by doing what you say it's not for everybody. Maybe for my most important employees, yes. My CEOs, my VPs, yes. But We not doing that for everybody
Okay,
after I
okay,
grow
okay, okay, okay,
of,
chill. So, okay,
thousands and
okay.
hundreds of thousands of people.
So, what would happen if hold on, let me read what Martin says. I just don't want to get behind the chat. I've been with my company for 10 years and they didn't have a choice to adjust our pay because of gas prices, but they are a wealthy company. And D says to chill, the situation that happened with Solid Blue happens more than you
That wasn't.
think.
Yeah, I
So,
wasn't.
okay,
That's not what I was.
okay,
What I was
but
trying to make with that. I know that
okay,
happens, but
okay.
I was pointing out the difference between Amazon and mom and pop,
I mean,
and why the mom and pop is in the situation they're in,
okay,
and
but
Amazon isn't.
okay, but at the same time, if Amazon is going to get into a situation where a lot of companies have built their companies on the back of their workers and have screwed them over, Jeff Bezos would not be in the position that he is in. And when I say position, I'm talking about the wealth that he has. If it weren't for the people going to work every single day, you need the
We're not.
employees to work for you. So let's say when COVID happened, what would have happened to Amazon if 50% of the people walked off the job and says, I'm not coming back because I don't want to get sick and management's not doing this, which a lot of people at Amazon said, that they aren't doing this and they don't care about our health, whatever. What would happen if 50% of those people just walked off and would Jeff Bezos be in the position that they're in? So yeah, they may have done whatever, talking about business, but part of business is also dealing with the people who work for you and treating them with respect and treating them right. You just can't step all over everybody and say, okay, so yeah. I mean, come on, chill.
But that's what you're saying, though. You're saying that the person that's happy at Amazon right now delivering packages isn't saying
Well, actually, you have a
that they
lot.
making money.
Well,
I know
actually, you
several people
have,
that
yeah,
work at
yeah,
Amazon
and I know,
readily, and they make money.
and I
They love
know,
their schedule.
and I know
They love.
several who also
Hold
work.
on. They love their schedule. They make money, and it's on their own time. It's a lot of benefits to what they do, opposed to the other person that may be complaining about whatever the case may be. Other people don't have, so it may be a 50-50, but you have that choice to walk off, right?
You
And so
you
that happens.
you okay, chill.
That'll make him
Chill.
react.
I'm not saying that you don't have a choice. Everyone has a choice. I'm just saying if a company is making X amount of dollars and you're one of the reasons that you're able to make the amount of money that you are, I'm saying if you're able to afford it, to just say a thank you in ways of a little bit more money in your paycheck. I don't want to be a partner with the company because being a partner in the company is not going to pay my rent or pay my light
But
bill. So
understandable. So what I'm
so
saying to you,
so
trying to tell you is that a little bit money for everybody becomes a lot of money in the
and
grand scheme of things,
I
right?
understand, chill.
So
I
therefore,
am not
that's
doubting
not.
that.
And so what I'm saying to you, that's not how I become Amazon.
I
I wouldn't be Amazon if I had that,
chill.
you know.
I understand that. I got that. I understand what you are saying. I'm just throwing out another part of it. Shy lady, are you still here? Or did she pop off? I can't tell. Let's see. Okay.
Yeah, it
Poop.
says she's active.
Poop.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to pop in or hey, crazy
Sure.
train? So,
We spend a lot of time talking about the bigger companies, and what a lot of us fail to forget is that we tend to support them a lot more than we do mom and pop businesses. And I'll give you a case in point. Recently, I had somebody reach out to me about doing something for them, and I was compared to a big box retailer, specifically Costco. Okay. And while I know that they do offer a little bit of a better pricing model on this particular piece of travel, I just said, you know what, I can't touch that price. The way they do it, it's very systematic, and you get what you pay for. So the point is that we always go back. We shop at Amazon. We buy the big box stores. We shop online because we're comparing pricing all along, instead of running. And I try to make a practice of shopping at Main Street instead of the big box stores. I can't tell you the last time I was in a Walmart or a Target or a large department store, and maybe Macy's around Christmas or something, just because of the Godiva chocolate. But I know that we've all been, I'm going to use the term brainwashed into shopping on Amazon because
Absolutely.
it's more convenient, or better yet, I just don't have time to go looking around for something. And I do get exactly what I want, a lot less expensive. And ultimately, that's what put me out of business in a retail store back in 2017. And I didn't see this coming until mid 2016. And then we were trying to pull the levers to counter this stuff. What happened specifically with me is we sold small boats like skiff. They're called skiffs, and we sold high-end kayaks. And we had a whole line of accessories and other types of service available, electronics and all this stuff. And our number one margin item was in the accessory line. So, of course, we want to make sure that we're buying enough product to keep it on our shelves. Well, what we saw happening was our manufacturers and distributors knew that these big box channels, or Amazon or any other reseller, those channels were more lucrative to them because they were selling a lot more at the same wholesale cost. Or better yet, they were adding that extra 10% over wholesale to cover their shipping and freight costs. So it put us in a disadvantage because we were bound by MAP pricing, or minimum advertised pricing, in our contracts. And one of the manufacturers reached out to me and said, "Hey, you know what? My role here has been changed, and I'm going to be taking care of all of our retailers. And I just wanted to reach out to you. We noticed that last year you spent over, I want to say the number was around 1.2 million in gross purchases. And then he says, and this year you guys are just over 200,000. What's going on?" And I said, "Well, how's that working out for you?" And they said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, how's that working out? Because you guys have systematically taken those customers that we would normally sell to because of your branding and your Amazon ability. You're basically whoring your product out to Amazon." And they're like, "Well, yeah, but that's a little bit of a different story." And I said, "Well, we're not interested in carrying your product anymore. As a matter of fact, we've actually went to China and sourced our own, and we're going to be competing against you on the Amazon channels with that same product." It's a little bit different, but that's what we're doing. And ultimately, it took brick and mortar stores and businesses right out of play because that was the intent all along for Amazon. They get mass, shipping. And I'm not saying anything about their support teams. I'm not saying anything about their ability to, conquer the world. But I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Amazon, if a mom and pop chooses to sell on Amazon and they have a specific product that they're making in-house and they start selling it on Amazon, and they have algorithms in place that show what good sellers are, and they show these peaks and valleys of these different products. And when they notice a product is approaching a certain level, they actually source that same product, or they get that product, they send it over to the manufacturing in China, and they have that product made, and lo and behold, it comes back as an Amazon Basics product, and they're charging 50% of the price. And then that business owner gets thrown out.
Amazon has been doing that for years, and that is one reason why I refuse to sell my product on Amazon. I will not do it. So many mom and pop stores have been screwed over by Amazon, and that's another reason why they make so much money. So yeah.
But I'm just as guilty as everybody else.
No, you're right, because
it's easier to go on
Amazon
and just order what you need.
Yeah. And
I have my stuff sent to a locker, and it's there when I'm ready to go pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even have to worry about it sitting out front
and somebody taking it.
Yeah. But the point is we've all been conditioned to do this,
We
right?
have. Mhm.
And we all want to say that we support local business. And going back to that same lady and I'm going to tell you what happened. She purchased a trip, all-inclusive trip somewhere, and my price was about $90 more than what she got at Costco. Okay, and I said, I don't know what to tell you. I do know that they have some very unique things going on internally to be able to do that. I said, I can't touch it, but I appreciate you letting me know. Well, fast forward 2 weeks prior to the trip, uh, she calls me and says, hey, I need your help on something. And I said, okay, what's going on? And she said, well, this trip that I booked. And I said, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to call, Costco because you booked it through them. I said, I can't even get in and look at it. Nobody's going to want to talk to you about it. You're going to have to call them. Well, I've called them a bunch of times. Nobody calls me back, and I keep leaving messages. I said, well, I don't know how to help you with that. I said, but I can try to answer your question, right? Well, come to find out, you have to apply for a visa 30 days prior to arrival. That was never done. So ultimately, they didn't offer her insurance. She lost $2,700 for a 4-night stay because she didn't get the insurance. They didn't discuss it, and she was never told. There was no support. But at the end of the day, she did save $90. I always go to Costco and rent my cars. And Solid, you know that I do that for a living.
Mm-hmm.
And I rent my cars through Costco. I can't even touch it on my travel agency rate. When I go into my side, I can't touch their rates on rental cars. I always use Costco to go do the rental car. Don't know why. It's crazy. But the point is we've conditioned ourselves to do this.
We do.
And we all want to say we support Main Street, and we want to support the local business, and we want to support the local economy. But if we're not doing it, then we don't have a complaint.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Pook, I do have to address something that Martin says. He said, yay, more communist products so they can start a war. And then he says that is the real problem right there. Big corporations just buying from China. Do you want to comment on that, Pook, or?
Oh, I will. I don't think there's anybody on this chat right now or anybody that's in the system that's using Podbean with a telephone that doesn't have a Japanese or Chinese product in their hand or at their reach within 2 feet. So it is what it is. And when we look at the inability of our country to promote that type of environment and to promote that type of manufacturing and continue all these things, it's not a political issue. It's not a war issue. This is something that's been going on for decades.
Okay.
And we all go after the better product.
Okay. Now, Martin says, I'm surprised U.S. supports oppressed China. And then Martin says to you, is there a choice?
No, because we failed in our technology and our ability to manufacture products in this country, because people have since become lazy trying to go get the best of the best. Everybody's standing in line to get those new LED OLG TVs or whatever for $7,000, and not one of them's made in this country. So we support that. And it's not the USA, it's the entire world, because we all want a new Apple phone. We all want a new watch. We all want this, right? And we continually support that. But unless you adopt a minimalist lifestyle, you're never going to get away from that dependency.
Okay. And Angie says guilty as charged. I mean, so am I. I mean, I know I am.
Yeah, we're all guilty.
And Martin says it was established by Bush and Clinton, free trade. Brina is giving you claps, Pook. And Martin says, so USA continue to support a war we are about to get into soon because it's all planned by the establishment. So, I will say this. I do like that response, Pook, about, who of us do not have something, 3 feet away that was made in
true?
In China. No, I mean, you're right. I mean, because Yeah, you're absolutely right. So, Shiley, are you back or she's still gone? If not, Mr. Chill will. Chill.
He must have been muted.
Well, I saw him pop on, and then there he is.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Okay, you are very faint. Okay, he popped off. He'll come back in. Okay. All right. So, am I caught up on the? Hold on. Here's Chill coming back. Let me grab you. My mouse is not working. There we go. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all can hear me.
Yes, yes, yes. Much better.
For me,
Okay, you were much better. Then you went faint again. So, not sure what's going on there, but you were much better. Okay, so I'm going to keep going here. So having said all of that, you guys, wrapping it, hold on. Here's Chill coming back. Hold on, hold on, hold on.
yeah, I don't know what's going on with 5 minutes. There's definitely something going on.
Yeah, you are still faint. Still faint. You know what? Chill, leave and let me send you an invite because sometimes when you do things in reverse order. So leave and I'll send you an invite to come up. All right. Let's see if this will work. Jill? Okay, now I don't hear anything. Okay, I'm going to keep going with the Angie says something with pot. Yeah, yeah, having quite a few issues now. Yep, 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 yep. So, okay, guys. So just to wrap it up, I've had to do that with several apps, Brina. Chill, if it doesn't work this time, Brina says try restarting the app. So you want to try again. Okay, send one now. Okay, there you go. There you go. Sent you one.
Yeah, it's got to be with 5 minutes.
Okay, there you go.
Do it again.
Now you're faint. You came on, we can hear you, and now you are faint.
It's definitely something with 5 minutes. I'm just about to open it all the way back out.
Okay, well, much better. Rita says much better than damn. Okay, so Shy Lady, do you want to pop back on or not? If not, I want to go back to okay, okay, so going back to my original question is what is respect for work well done? Is it um shoot, I can't, there we go. Is it, getting that raise, by not getting a raise, are you disrespecting your employees? Chill, come on. Let's see.
2, 3, check.
Nope, nope, nope.
I give up.
I'm sorry, Jill. I'm sorry. You when you popped on that one time or twice, you were good, and then all of a sudden you just faded out. So I don't know what is going on. Did you restart the app like Brina said? Okay, and Tron says, I just want to say I'm leaving my company because I've maxed out on my raises. You maxed out on raises? How do you max out on raises?
I did at the last company I worked for.
How do you max out on raises?
They told me I reached the cap.
Okay, so if you work for a company for, I'm just throwing out a number, you work for a company for 20 years, you're telling me that you can max out at say year 15, and then the last 5 you don't get anything. You just come to work every day and go home.
I did it 3 years. I was on salary, and I was told the first year was at 5% annualized increase in salary, and the next year was at 4%, because they adopted the mentality that nobody was worthy of 5%. And then the following year was 2%, and that was the third year. The fourth year that I was eligible for it, they said that there was no merit increases going out this year because nobody really did anything spectacular. And mind you, I was at the top of the chain. I ran a hotel company, and my 5 properties that were in this group of 29 were always in the top 8. All 5 locations were in the top 8.
So
And
again,
when I say in the top 8, I'm talking about the GOP line, where gross over profit doesn't matter about your overall revenue. And I was told that we weren't worthy of it.
Jill, you are muted. Okay, good.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. If you're using headphones, just don't move. Just whatever you're gonna say, just talk. Maybe it won't break up the connection. Jill?
And this, what I
Okay.
think I wanted to say was,
Now we can't hear you at all. Now you're coming in.
I was, yeah.
Okay, go
Oh
ahead.
wow.
Go ahead. No,
Okay.
go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. We can hear you now.
Okay, you can hear me now?
Yes, yes.
All right, cool. So, what I wanted to say in general was about the corporation. Just because the corporation, number one, makes money, we can't expect them to shell out more money, um, because that's just not good business, right? We would like for them to, but they're probably going to allocate the best funds for the most exceptional people, because that's just good business. So we can't ask a corporation not to do good business, to ask to go into business with mom and pop and then to steal their idea. It's immoral, right? But it's good business. All this is what capitalism use, right? And so I'm not necessarily pro or for, or against it. It is what it is, and that's how the country has always been. There's never been a different way of doing things ever. You always try to get the most work for the least amount of, you know what I'm saying? The biggest corporations, right? The most corrupt ones, right? And so we have to see that at a point to where Amazon switched over and became a big corporation. They adopted that environment, that culture, that idea, and then necessarily what some call um immoral, some call good business. And so we just gotta that's how things are. And it just you can ask me to be, and I don't think that we don't support general people don't support mom and pop. But if I go to a mom and pop and I gotta pay a 100 to $200 more, I, when does it become me against them? Like, do I care about their well being more than I do, or America's mom and pop industry more than they do me? And they might not give a fuck about me. They just want my business, right? It's not like they're gonna come to my house and give me some a fruit basket and bread if I'm hungry over that $100 I spent. So it's not that simple to say we don't support mom and pop, because if I go into mom and pop she's chewing gum, acting like she's doing me a favor to take my order, and it's dirty as fucking here, and then you know what do you want me to do? You want me to just support at what cost? am I inconvenienced to support mom and pop? And how and do I even have availability to get decent service or goods through mom and pop for not only a good price, just the whole deal. Like, can I get there? Do I see? Is there anything available? So it's not that we like. Sometimes all it is Walmart in a small town. You know what I mean? And if I had somebody that go to differently, I would. But maybe they did put everybody out of business, or some people are discouraged because of Walmart. But for the most part, I think we still support local if it's good. If it's good, it's good. If it's affordable, 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 and that's why Amazon and Walmart, they know how to lowball, and they got that way because of immoral acts and or just like good business, so to speak. So I don't think that necessarily people have given up on doing well by each other, and that. But I just when it comes to corporations, we're not talking that's on purpose. They're trying to do what they're trying to do, and so us being involved, we can't complain about something that they've been doing for years. They've been doing this. They've been trying to do this. That's their whole objective. And so if we go work for them and they complain about them not doing for us what we ask them to be other than what they've been their whole lives, basically. Opposed to just making you become self-sufficient in other areas, getting a different job, or becoming a competitor, to so to speak, to some degree.
Okay. All right. Tron Cat says it 6 years it took me to get to $22 an hour. I'm coming up for my 8th year and they got no more money to give. So I'm out starting my own locksmith business. Good for you. Good for you. Angie says, good on you, Tron. Hope it works out well. I've emailed Podbean again. It is frustrating about the mic thing. Okay, so Tron says, so as the top guy, you're saying I'll get the raise, but the lower guy that follows me won't get. That's not fair. I'll quit first. I'm assuming you're talking to Will when you say that. Okay, he says do the same job. So, Chill, you want to address what Tron said?
Absolutely, that's how the world works. And so now, knowing that the world works, you're complaining about how the world works. Who's the problem? And so it has become the corporations are the problem. If we're not willing to be inconvenienced, like Pook said, minimalist. And I mean, as a people, who's the problem at that point? We have all the autonomy to be able to do certain things, you know, and make people adhere to certain as a certain moral codes. We could do that, but we don't. So I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily a brainwashing. It's just ah, I feel that's the part of where the only part I probably disagree with Puka on. I don't know if it's a brainwashing. I just don't. Right? If I know I'm going to sacrifice, I want to know it's for a greater. I'm doing it, you know, and I'm the only one going on a damn boycott. yeah. I'm the only one with the T-shirt in the room. People like, oh, hey, great, your admirable cause, but shit, it's like a pat on the butt.
But okay, let me read what Tron said first. He says, oh, buddy, chill. I'm not complaining. I'll just do my own shit, make my own money. Um,
I mean rhetorically, that wasn't specifically meaning you, but I was just talking in general. But
okay.
I'm with you.
Okay. Crazy, you will never miss out because my shows will always be something that somebody's going to have a comment on. So don't worry about that. All right. So, okay. Um, okay. So, again, my question is just to kind of sum everything up. Do you think that employees deserve respect from their employers for a work well done? And on the flip side, do employees or do employers deserve respect from their employees for treating them decently, if that makes sense?
Well, real quick, I can answer that. That's the problem. I think that's the biggest problem here. Is that since um, corporations make a lot of money, and you feel like you're doing a good job, you feel like you're to receive that compensation or that pat on the back and money. Who says we have to have the money? It could be an attaboy.
I
Some
didn't.
people want that more than
No.
anything.
I just said, do they deserve respect?
Of course, that would be respect, and I'm saying respect is typically um, uh, gauged in scruples. How much you give me in my paycheck? You know
Well,
what I mean?
no, not necessarily,
Typically,
because
typically,
you have. But
I'm talking about typically though.
okay. But I'm saying, what about that boss that you have who is just an asshole, and no matter what you do, they berate you. They have something to say. It's always something nasty, whatever. You have some bosses that are like that. It's like, well, damn, I come to work every day. I do my job. I mind my own business. Can you just respect me?
Of course, I mean, but if we talking about the raises, the show is about raises, right? So I'm thinking
No,
about
no, no.
raises, right?
I said, is it a thank you? Is it a raise? Is it a promotion? But when you came in, we just
Cuss
happened to
me
be
out
talking
every
about
day.
raises, you know.
Cuss me
So
out every day.
but
Cuss me out every single day, Sally. And if you give me $5 raise every year, shit, I'll be at work the next day, 7 o'clock. Hey, you MFer, get to work. If I have to, if I like the job. I mean, if I really just think they're a horrible ass person. But think about how many things we do in the name of making them bread. I mean, it's always a line, right? But if it's just because they cuss and they are nasty, shit, I can get that. I'm gonna go from one job to the next. That's gonna happen anyway. Or I'm gonna go into an establishment that I pay money to that people don't respect me. And they don't say shit. They just think of me less of me when they look at me. So if I was to do that for everything I did in life, I'd be starving, hungry, and unemployed.
I want to read what Tron says. He says they absolutely do. You don't see the boss doing the jobs. And Pook says, when's the last time Amazon or your local Walmart supported your kids and grandkids, schools, and local communities? Tron says that's what reviews are, to evaluate your performance, see if you have earned it. DMAX said respect goes both ways. Yes, it does. So, Pook, I'm going to start wrapping this up. So, you want to push back or add or just talk?
No, I'm good. I think I can make my last comment right now if you want. But I think we go through life sometimes thinking that the old mentality of our parents and grandparents is that you do a job and you do it well and you are rewarded for that job and that's it. And as a whole, corporate America or larger companies that we're specifically talking about, they don't care. They're going to replace you tomorrow if you drop it dead today. And I think the biggest piece that people miss is I live by the philosophy of start building your own dream and stop wasting your time building someone else's. Whatever that takes, you know. And I had this discussion with a friend of mine's son the other night, and he's 26 years old. He's just been on and on, going from one job to another in hopes that somebody's going to make him a manager, and he feels like they don't do the right thing, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, nobody cares, number one. And the truth is, they've told him he's going to be a manager to get more efficiency and productivity out of him at a hourly person's rate. So that was their trickery. And he said, well, what do I do? And I said, you know what? You just bought a brand new car. Pack a bag, nothing's holding you here, and drive to Las Vegas and do Uber for 3 to 6 months and figure it out, and do it for yourself. Just at the end of the day, do it for yourself. And if you fail, great. You know what? Nobody cares because you can't fail if you don't try. That's my philosophy.
Pook, I agree with you.
People are scared to take that dive.
I agree with you 100%. There are so many starts and stops that I have done, and I have I cannot work for somebody else again. If I fail, if something doesn't get done, it is my fault. I'm the only person to blame, and there is it is on me. So
You know, it's a funny story. That one company I told you about where I capped out, they treated me they treated me okay. But the last straw was with them was when they questioned my integrity over one mistake in an Excel report, and I was told that I could lose my job for it. And I laughed and I said, "Do you honestly think that I really need your $54? Give me a break." And I just kind of I chuckled at that, and I thought it was so funny that they would even remotely say that to me. And I said, "You know, you just committed the number one sin with me, and that's questioning my integrity." And I was in a conference call about it because they were like, "Oh, well, we could terminate you for this." And I said, "You know what? That's fine. This is a great time for me to give you my notice." And based on what they were paying me, they paid me a fair wage for the industry. I'm not going to say they didn't. They were a decent company. I'm not going to say they weren't. But here's the irony here. Now they're paying me 4 times what they would have paid me had they kept me on staff and not questioned my integrity. Because I do it on my own now, and now they're at my disposal to say, "Hey, you need to fix this." Because I have clients in all of their hotels, and I have a contract with the brand, the major brand that has 9 different hotels that they manage under it. So now they're paying me checks. And I just find it amusing because I turned the table on them, and they were like, "We wished you'd come back." And I said, "Not a chance. There's no price for my freedom."
mhm.
And on a cruise ship and I'm working 2 days out of that 7-day trip for 2 to 3 hours, I'm happy about that. I just say do it for yourself.
And to me, a lot of people in the last couple years are doing it for themselves, and the the world is having a taste of what would happen when everyone says, you know what, screw this, I am doing it for myself. And Letitia says, no price at all. And DMAX says, edit, everyone can't be a business owner. And Frankie, I saw something you said. What did you say, Frankie?
Oh, I disagree with that, D. I disagree with that.
Yeah,
And
Adam and Eve.
I'll be the first one to tell you, I hired somebody to take care of all of my editorial and grammar stuff because I'm horrible at it, self-admitted. I think I've told you this before on a personal call, Solid.
Mm-hmm.
I hire somebody to take care of that for me because I'm the visionary guy. I don't care about all those details. You know what? Let somebody else worry about that. And I had a conversation with her this morning, and she was laughing, and she said, "Oh my God, you drove me crazy." And I said, "You know what? That's why I put that in your folder and asked you to proof everything and fix it because I don't care. That's not something that's going to hold me back. You fix it. That's what we pay you for." And we pay her well, you know?
But you
So,
understand that though, bro. That's the most important part to all of this is what you're saying is you giving people game without even charging them right now. So what you saying is that if as a people we can get together and get shit done. You ain't got to be everything.
you know, I I tell people all the time, and I'm not going to use this as a platform to advertise myself, but I will tell you this. A lot of people come to me and they say, "You know what? I'd love to do what you do. I just don't have the time." And I stop them right there and I say, "Hold on a second, because you misunderstood something. You're not making time for this. You're not willing to make time for this because you're so busy with a clouded vision on something else. You don't see the path here. And if you just take, 10 steps back, and then some people say, "Well, I can't afford to participate." Well, you know what? I'm giving you 100%. I'm paying your fees.
Mm-hmm.
So what is holding you back? If you do this and you take the bull by the horns and run with it, I don't care what lane you pick. Just pick one and stay in it and do whatever makes you happy. because when it comes down to the fees, if you hit a certain level with me, I pay your fees. That's okay. I don't care. But I
And
know for a fact that I'm pushing everybody up around me. I'm not trying to compete with the Joneses. I'm taking them and lifting them. And I think that makes a big difference.
It does. Let me read these comments real quick. Frankie says, "Good show to everyone," and I just have to read because people over on YouTube and Facebook can't see the chat. DMAX says, "Everybody can be a business owner. People have to fit where they fit best." Pook, is that where you were saying that you disagree?
What's that?
Where D says everybody can be a business owner, people have to
I
fit where they fit, and then he says
I do
I'm
disagree
sorry,
with that.
I'm sorry, and then he edit. He says everyone can't be a business owner. Hold on. Crazy is saying Poop love all of that. I'm actually trying to spin up my own business right now. And Letitia says everyone is a born leader. We all need to realize our potential and master it. I like that. Shiley says, Pook, love the things worked out for you. And DMAX says, Pook, I disagree. Everyone doesn't have the mental capacity to be an owner.
I think D is off the path just a little bit and not realizing what could be staring her dead in the face, and she can't see that yet. Something's clouding that vision.
I can
And
tell
I
you
think
what,
that's where you have coaches or empowerment people of empowerment near you, or the people you're around you, make sure they're empowering you to do things. I have a friend in San Diego that used to make the best buttercream cakes or whatever it was she made, and now she's got a bakery business that's nationwide, and she's franchising locations every day. All because somebody said, you know what, you need to do this, and she starved for 6 months to do it. So, and the coolest part about her program is that she cut those normal franchise fees of 7.5% and 8% down to 3.5% because she didn't want to take advantage of these people. And it just once you see that vision and once you taste a little bit of it, you're on your own. You're on your own track. You don't need to worry about everybody else. But we have such a dependency on that paycheck or what somebody thinks of us, or how, or that praise that we get. I'm gonna tell you right now, that praise is my freedom. That's just where it is. I used to be like that, but my freedom is the praise. So
Okay. Jill.
yeah, what he's spot on. I feel like he's spot on in the sense of, well, so many ways, but it's not that I don't disagree with what D was saying, but sorry. So I do disagree overall because you can become a lawyer, you become a plumber, you become a mechanic, you become you can be if you can make sandwiches, if you make the best peach cobbler in your area, you become a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
Now you may not, this is like Poop said, you may not be good with numbers or grammatically making memos and reports and shit, or whatever the case may be. But there's somebody that can pay, you can pay to do that for you. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what a team is. Everybody needs a team to get somewhere. Anybody successful, even I don't comedians, they have a team of writers sometimes that you don't even know about. That have to do that. They're multifaceted. They have to handle business in different areas. So that's just a part of learning how to be a team and be acclimated to that. And maybe you necessarily can't be good at it, but you can hire somebody to do that, and you can oversee those things. So everybody has the capability of being, starting their own thing or just having a trade or skill. You know what I'm saying? And so it ain't necessarily even about quitting your job. You can just do something you like and you start making money at it. And when it starts to get good, you can make that jump or not.
that's right.
But it's still being diversified. So you might be working for a boss, but you ain't slave to that paycheck. If I want to say fuck off tomorrow, guess what I can do? Because I'm making money over here and here and here doing things and things that I may like, or not if they're just making money. the fact is that you can do that because you made yourself as a person uh marketable or just useful or more useful. I'm not gonna say obviously you have use, but in the older you get, you can acquire more skill, right? And you're gonna fall sometimes in your face, but you can't be scared, and you got to get over yourself, right? And like Poop said, things of what other people think of, because you may be running your own race and it may be awkward. You may look funny doing it, but you got to be able to have the wherewithal to say, "The hell with other people, I'm doing my own thing because I know where I'm going and I know where I'm trying to get." And when everything pops up and like you, wow, hunky dory, they're like, "Oh, that's what he was doing." It may be 3, 4, 5 years, 10 years down the road. Either way, you just got to be able to have that wherewithal.
Okay. We're going to welcome Moshir. Moshir, we're going to be wrapping it up. You're coming in right at the end, but welcome.
You. Good evening to all of you.
Good evening. Good evening to
What up,
you.
brother?
I don't know what you are talking about. I don't know what is the subject. G-
I'm sorry. I am. I always laugh when people pop up onto the onto the chat, and then they're like, "What are we talking about?" We're just talking about working for different people and an employee giving you respect and what a job should offer you and things like that. So,
oh my God! You're talking about subject. Maybe I was just looking to talk about it. I have a
well,
question.
well,
Really, I was just coming in to talk about. I have a question, and I would like to ask all of you, and I would like to hear your answer about this question. Can I
oh,
ask the question?
you can ask the question, but we are wrapping it up. So go on, go on.
So my question is easy. If you work in the place and you feel that the boss or the manager is trying to, squeeze and hang you and put pressure in you, uh, how you deal with this toxic manager? Easy question.
So
Do you leave? Do you stay? What is the option? What you do in this case?
for me, I would report them first, but in the end, I would probably leave because it's not worth it. But if they were doing something like really wrong, like blatant harassment, I would sue them and then I would leave. So, Jill or Pook, you want to jump in on that one?
To I apologize. I was reading an email. To be honest with you.
Okay, Jill. Jill, do you want
Okay,
to
okay.
answer?
So I want to make sure you said we start saying somebody trying to squeeze you out. Like, I don't know what's going on, but overall, I just you don't gotta take shit from nobody. I mean, you seem like a smart guy. Therefore, you got to make either a real move if you feel like if it's worth fighting. Somebody gonna hear your cries. Um, as a union rep for a long time, you got to be able to make that step. And it seems in the short term, like it may not help, but it'll get end results. And sometimes they may look at you funny. You got to go through an awkward moment, but time does heal, and they'll quit fucking with you. A lot of times when you report their ass, they can't fuck with you because it's retaliatory. So you just got it might be awkward, like I said, a little bit. If they do, you can sue their ass and get a whole lot of money because I've seen people do that. I know people who go to jobs just to be in those situations, just to find those managers so they can report them, so they can be retaliated against, so they can get $100,000 out of their business. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean you got to
So
be able to fight it. Speak up for yourself. That's for sure. It
so
ain't got to be that bad, but speak up.
so
That's a
Moj,
whole nother show.
Moshe, when you say squeeze you out, what do you mean exactly when you say squeeze you out?
I don't mean, but it just comes that words from out of my mouth. I meant that he is like put more pressure on you, um, trying to how can I just um,
Are
try to
are are you saying that this is a boss that no matter how much work that you do, he wants you to do more and more?
No, 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 no. He is just trying to put a pressure on some people, and so to let them leave the work. How do you deal with these people? And you want that
Okay,
work because
okay,
he is just
okay.
he is
So
not he is not he don't has that he don't have that company. He is also
okay,
employee.
so you're saying
But
that he's pressuring people to try to quit, to quit the job, to leave and quit.
yeah,
Okay, 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 okay,
by his treating people, the
okay,
way he treat people.
okay. Got it, got it. So, chill. Do you want to change what you want to say, or
Okay,
keep it?
so got you. If that means that it's a hostile work environment, right? If it's, I don't know what type of laws, or I'm not quite sure exactly where
He
you
is
at.
in Palestine.
So I don't even know if it makes a difference. So if there are laws, because we are speaking from an American standpoint, right? Over here, that's a shit. That's just a no go. You gotta meet him to you know to go about doing things. But if you have laws in place where that's illegal, then obviously you go by that, and you go by that book. Go get a union rep. You don't have a union rep, go get like an HR department. But you be careful though. But you just do your research, because you go to the HR department, they find out you got a problem, they'll fire your ass because you got a problem.
Yep, yep.
So you got to be careful. So if you think you complain, and then they'll fire you because you complain, then you know this, you can't go that route. Now,
Exactly. That's what
if
is
you don't
happening.
trust, okay, got you. So yeah, and then they're taking advantage of the situation. So you may want to slowly find something else in that situation, because that's a straight hostile environment. Unless you feel like you can get through to that manager some typical way to not mess with you. But if it's not necessarily you and it's other people you worry about, and y'all can come together, and like I don't know if that's even possible to execute like a walkout, or a boycott of some sort, but that's on a grander scale. And if they find that out, they'll definitely fire you too. So I yeah, that's a tough situation, but I would definitely, uh if you have the option, I don't know if you have the option to even get different type of work. um yeah,
We
that's
have to
rough.
get away from that mentality, though. We
But
we really do.
if you go out of that mentality, I agree with you.
Well, I don't
But
know
there
his
is
situation, his environment, so
yes,
it's
there
easy to
will be
speak over
there will
here.
Well, wait, hold on, guys. Poop, did you want to add something more?
Well, yeah, I think a society overall has given us those tools or those outlets to create that environment in the workplace. And I think once we start squashing that and saying, you know what, if you don't like the way you're being treated somewhere, or you don't like the way something's happening in a place of employment, you make that change. And it's not a weak move to do that. It's actually showing your strengths, because you know what? I'm not going to deal with that. Now, granted, sexual harassment and those kind of things, that's a whole other story. But I think as a whole, we need to come out of that mentality about going to the manager to be the one to cry about a specific issue that you don't like or you're uncomfortable with. And you just need to rise up above that and just move on and make that change for yourself.
But
And
okay,
you should also be very vocal about that in your interview when you start talking to a company. And one of the one of the
Torvaco.
biggest successes for me is I've actually looked at people interviewing me, upwards of six-figure salary, and I would say, I want you to, after they ask me certain questions and we chatted or whatever, do you have any questions for me? And I say yes. Why should I choose your company to come to work for?
okay, but Poop, let me ask this, and I'm just playing both sides here. Why should Moshe have to leave, or anyone have to be forced to leave just because whatever?
Well, but it's not a force; it's a choice.
Well, I mean, oh, true,
Exactly.
but if you really like the place that you're working for, and you really like the job, and if somebody's pushing you out, then why not try to go to HR or whatever and make that other person leave?
Well, I think
I
D is
Sorry.
right though.
I don't agree with that though.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
I think
because
D is right.
because it's condoned if it's happening in HR and it's systematic and it's happening all over the place and people are able to treat whoever they want and nobody cares because everybody's got favorites from the HR teams or whatever. Let's face facts. HR teams are in place to protect the company from legal liability. Period.
Mhm.
They don't care about the people. They can stand there all day long and tell you they do, but at the end of the day, it's about protecting the integrity of the company. That's what they
Exactly.
do. And when you make that choice to say, you know what, this isn't for me, and these are the reasons why, and once they start learning that they're losing great people because of this, that's when it wakes them up a little bit. Not because
Okay,
you're creating those waves.
I gotta stop you
Yeah.
here, Tuvako. Just I want to add something. Okay, I totally agree with your suggestion that you're gonna leave. I totally agree with you. But you know, sometimes you will have consequences after you leave, and it's very risky. I mean, you have that salary, your family is depend on you, and you will start working, looking to another job, and you will lose. Too much money, and that's why you will say, okay, I will wait a little bit, let's see what will happen, because when you do this, you are not risking only yourself, you are risking people who depend on you.
Hmm.
You know what I
That's
mean?
true.
So if
And
it
that's why I
was
say I
me
would be asking
alone,
more
if
about
it
your situation. Like I don't know
yeah
the
if
environment.
yeah
Like that's the paramount. So there's so many
exactly.
details that we're missing here, and specifically like that are probably super important to make an educated uh, a response. I would say so. That's something that I would definitely. It probably takes more than the show time to go
Okay.
over and respond to.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but at the same time, that those people that are depending on you should be enough drive for you to make it better for yourself,
That's a good
right?
point. Yeah.
So you have to consider that. Why are you going to
Good.
be why are you going to be in keep yourself in a bad situation because of the dependency of your loved ones? Instead, do something to trigger that change and embrace the fact and the support that they are there for you.
Yeah.
So give that some consideration.
Okay, guys, I am going to start wrapping it up here. I don't like getting right to the very, very end. But this was a good conversation. 2 days in a row. Good conversation,
i i
everyone.
I came late, sorry. Today.
You did come late. So, guys, I'm not doing a Thursday show, but tomorrow I am doing a question and answer. I think Angie asked me about that last week, so I am going to do a question and answer. If you guys want to ask me questions, you can, or a question and answer for other people who are in the chat. So like for Chill Will, where did he get Sweet Willie? Not seriously, I really
Yeah,
don't want to
the
know that.
sweet
But
Willie.
anyway, so if you guys want to show up tomorrow, I'll see how that goes. If it's a show that works, then I'll do it again. If not, then you live and learn. So, but Moshir, thank you for coming. Even though it was at the end, I am glad that you came up and you were able to participate. But to Moshir, Chill, Pook, and Shy Lady were here. Thank you very much for popping in, and everyone else. Again, hope
Thank you.
you're welcome. Hope to see you
Thank you to all of
tomorrow.
you.
And again, as you guys
Peace
know,
out,
my
y'all.
show does not work without you and Kimberly and Power Girl Frankie, Brina, Crazy Train. And by the way, guys, I have to promote this. You guys going to have Crazy and Co-Train on family differences. Uh, second weekend in August. So I'm looking forward to
Uh-oh.
that. So yeah, because I'm so looking forward to that. So
DM me,
Letitia,
ladies, if you
thank
need
you.
some assistance after the
T-Mac,
show.
Angie. Oh, chill. You are just a mess as usual. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. And Tron and DMAC. So anyway, guys, I hope to see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening, wherever you are in the world. Bye. Oh, and I gotta say this: go where the wind takes you. Bye. Oh boy. Angie, he always goes there. He always goes there. You should know that. Chill is always going to go
I can't help it.
there.
It's in my loins.
Yeah.
Angie, where my kids at, girl? Brenda, where my kids at?
Mhm.
They
Chill.
better be in bed by 9 o'clock.
Chill, if you show up
Cause
tomorrow,
daddy coming home.
oh, listen to you. If you show up tomorrow, Chill, I definitely have some questions for you.
But me?
So,
Nah, I ain't no snitch now.
okay.
I ain't
So
snitching.
on that note, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
See y'all.